I plan to give you a small overview on the areas where SAS is being used. Now, as you can see, SAS has a role to play in almost all the analysis in terms of the predictive modeling, decision tree, forecasting, optimization, be it in the industry of financial services, retail, life science, pharmaceuticals, clinical research, telecoms, all the industry, whichever industry is big on data, SAS has a role to play in all these industries. In financial services, we have areas like credit card, loans, management of data, huge volume of data. Then retail, we have the CRM, we have the daily sales forecasting, the supply chain SKU mapping. For all these things, SAS is being used. And similarly, in the life science and pharmaceutical field, we have the clinical data analysis, the clinical research for new drug development, even for the patient management for large hospitals. People are using SAS in a huge way. With this prelude, let's also take you through the areas or the competency level that people are expecting in this field in the industry. Now, one is people must have some knowledge of statistical theory, but it's not that they need to do them by hand, because obviously the software will do all the relevant analysis for us. But we must know the basic theoretical concepts of the basic statistical things. Apart from that, there will be people like the MBAs who are extremely important, in a sense they can understand the business requirement and can convert that into the statistical requirement. Yeah, can we just mute the microphones, because
we are getting so much feedback. Could you please, can anyone please mute the mic?
Okay, now we are ready to go. Now, see, we also have people from because understanding the MBAs are very important in this entire chain to understand the business requirements, and then need to present to the client in working in a client-facing role. And then there are engineers or science computer graduates who are more into the programming part, into the data mining part, and the creation of ETL tools and other kind of softwares can also be created based on the SAS, having SAS in the background. And then now the other field which is coming up, the pharma life science, where a lot of clinical trials, a lot of for new drug development, and the patient analysis to understand the epidemiological studies which are being done on a huge sample sizes. For these also, SAS is being currently used in the industry. Now, with this prelude, I will just take you through the very basics of the software. Now, SAS, unlike other softwares, has the habit of working when the data is closed. So, with whatever operation you do on a SAS data, be it modification of any data or extracting some information out of the data, it's being done when the data is closed. And the data can be there in any physical drive in the system, but that physical drive must be linked to the SAS session through something called a libraries. Now these libraries are nothing but some names or aliases which we give to some physical drive in the system. Now this work SAS help and SAS user, that's where the if I open in the Explorer window, I come to libraries, I open this, I get to see these three, which are SAS system folders. Apart from that, I can create or I can link any physical location into SAS through a library. So the way to do that is I right click on this, do a new, and I browse to tell him which location I want to read it for this particular library name. So let me check. Suppose I want to have this physical drive into SAS by a name called, say, whatever D. So now this physical drive will be known to SAS as D, and if I right click on this, look at the properties, I can see that this physical drive is now known to SAS by a library called D. Now we can import any data like Excel or other forms of data. Here. Now we can import any form of data into SAS through this import creation wizard. We go to File, Import Data, and there is the option of importing different kinds of data like Excel, delimited files, CSV files. So suppose I want to import an Excel file, I go to next, browse to tell him where is my file, and now which I think some issue with the audio thing. They just give us a couple of minutes so that we can sort it out. Okay. Okay. I think we have the things resolved, and now let's continue with that. Now, as I was coming to, we can import any kind of data into SAS through this import wizard, which will enable us to import different forms of data, be it Excel, be it CSV or other delimited files, text files, DBase files, access files. So right now, suppose I want to import a Excel, I do a next browse to tell him where my data lies, and then which sheet the data is in, I need to mention that. Next, I need to tell him post import, where do I want to store the data. Suppose I want to store it in my D library by some name called, say, data1. And if I finish this in my D library, I'll get the data imported. And once I have this data in my D library, it's nothing but, because D library was nothing but this physical location mapped into SAS. So actually the data has been stored here. Now with this data, now we can do some analysis, some kind of things. Now we can do any kind of data changes, any kind of creation of column, deletion of column, addition of row, deletion of row with this data. If I want, we can extract some information out of the data. Now the entire coding part of SAS is done in this editor window. So whatever codes we write in SAS is being done in the editor window, and whatever outputs we extract out of the SAS data is exhibited in this output window. Okay, so let's do some kind of changes in the data. Suppose I have this column called age, and I want to do some transformation like a log or square root for this or for this weight, something. So let's do some basic operations on this. Now SAS always identifies a data by its library name. So when I say data d.data1, that means I am trying to change something in a data called data1 in a library called D. Now these two lines are very important for any new data changes. Now this is the data new library dot new data set old library dot old data. Now this means that I want to change something in this data, which is a copy of this data, and we want to do some changes, say so I'm creating a new column called log underscore age, which is the log of the age variable. Now if I do this, now to execute a syntax, there is some features of SAS syntax. Number one, it must always be a semicolon after every syntax line. And if when I'm done with a set of syntax must end with a run. Hello? Hello? Yeah?
Hello?
Yeah? No, see, SAS is not a package for Java. It has its own tool, which SAS has its own server, own database, and we can write SAS codes in the SAS server or in the remote system where SAS is loaded. So it's a complete tool for its data analytics, and it can access data from any of the data marts, be it your Oracle, your SQL servers. Also SAS can handle data from there also, and it can extract data, and once the data is in the SAS mode, you can analyze them, you can generate reports out of them, you can do high-end analytics in terms of time series forecasting, doing cluster analysis, logistic regression. This is the next step for the SAS analytics. The first part is the data handling and reporting, which will involve a lot of data churning and slicing and dicing the data in different formats, different kind of, and for example, I would like to know a group of customers who probably have purchased in my store in the last 6 months but have not purchased a particular category more than 2 times. So we need to do some special promotions for them. So all this kind of getting information out of the data on a regular basis, and then based on that developing strategies. So all these things can be done using the software. So it's much ahead of what probably your Java and C++ and even your SQL scan of the world can do, because some of them are purely data management softwares, where some of them are just statistical analysis, but limited to a very small volume of data. But SAS actually has taken up the best of everything, and it has it can handle large volume of data very fast. It can do all the analysis which is there under the sun. We can do each one of them through a matching code in SAS. Okay. Does that answer the question? Fine. Now, see, as I was telling to, now SAS codes are primarily of two types. One is the data type codes, which are primarily used to modify some existing data, while the others are called proc type codes, which are short form for procedure, which are primarily used to extract some information out of the data. Okay, it can be as simple as printing or find out the frequency of certain variables, or it can be as complex as doing some multivariate time series analysis. So now coming back to this, the basic coding structure of SAS. Now SAS always takes up code as or identifies data as library name dot data name. So when I say d.data1, I'm talking about a data called data1 in my D library. And if I execute this, the execution happens through this submit button or F3 from the keyboard. Any one of them does the job. So here I get to see a new extra column in my data at the extreme end, which is storing for me the log of the age variable. So this is how mostly the SAS operations or SAS functions work. It's if I want to write the basic skeleton, it's something like this: data new library dot new data set old library and old data, and I create a new variable is some function on the old variables. And now for these to work, my old library and my new library should be one of the active libraries. So I can here right now swap data between these libraries very easily. But if I want to do it for some other physical location, that location must be linked to SAS by a library name. So as like log, we can create other kinds of functions, other kind of numeric functions like square, square root, and other things. Now, just before that, one issue about the formatting. Now I can format a variable. See here, the log is showing me too many places after decimal. If I want to format that, I can do that. Now numeric variables take up the format called w.d. W is total width and .d is how many of a decimal we want. So if I do this right now, this column will look like, will not have so many of a decimal as was earlier evident. Now let's focus on some other function. Now this log is the natural log. Similarly, there are other functions like log 10 gives me the log base 10. Now the power function in Excel, it's cap, while the power function in SAS is the double star. So if I want to do write square of something, this is the square of weight. Similarly, the square root of something will be there. And similarly, we can have other functions like we can have any complex equations built into SAS and stuff like that. We can do that. So these columns are created at the extreme end for these values. Okay. Now, as like these are numeric functions for us, similarly we can have other kinds of functions also. And if I want to conditionally execute something, for example, there's a variable called group, and if I want to know how many people belong to each group, then we can look into the frequency thing. So this tells me that I get to see the frequency of the group variable. So how many of them are there? And since this is a proc, we get something in the output window which exhibits, tells me that there are 45 individuals each in group 2 and 3, and their respective percentages and their cumulative percentages. Similarly, if I want to extract some other information, for example, I want to print certain observations from this data. So suppose I want to print some variables, say serial number, age, and some other variable, say weight. Okay, so and I want to print certain observations, I can do that. So I want to print only 10 observations, because mostly the data with which we work with are extremely large, so I may not be able to look at all the data points at one go in the viewer. So I may want to print some of the datas. So I get to see these columns in my data for first 10 observations. If I want, I can give some conditions. If I want to print this is certain conditions, say where so I want to locate those individuals for whom age is more than 60. So it tells me that there are no such observations, 0 observations of that case. So suppose I give it, say, 50. So I get to see that there are 10 such observations, and it will show me which observation they are, and their corresponding serial numbers and everything are getting displayed. Okay. So similarly, if I want to actually find something of incidence of certain values from the data, hello, hello, yeah. So basically, this kind of things can also be done, and if I want to do any conditional creation of column, so basically, say if the person's age is above 50, suppose I give him some special rate of interest or something, I can do that. So suppose based on a condition, I want to have a discount rate of 0.25 for people who are above 50, and discount rate of people who are below 50 discount rate of 10%. So in any kind of these kind of operations can be done very easily into SAS creation of column, addition of column. So I get this value of 0.1 and 0.25 accordingly as the person's age is at what level. Okay. Now if I want to know similarly if I want to delete some column, there is a function called drop or keep. They will remove columns for me. For example, if certain columns if I don't want in my data, I can use these things to change. Okay, truncate what? Yeah, Amit had a question that can we truncate or change the record? Yes, we can. We can do any change in the existing data as well, but the data will be closed, so we can't just click on the values and we can't change them. We need to write codes to do that. I'll just display that. So suppose I have only now these columns and now I want to change, say, this person's age, or this person's age is suppose incorrectly at 52. So I need to change that to something else. I can do that. So that means if the person who was at serial number 2, the age was 45, sorry 52, and it should have been 45. So that's a change which I have done. So now this person's age is now at 45 and not at 52. So these kind of changes can be done. But if I want to change the discount column, because right now he is getting a discount of 0.25 because earlier he was in age bracket of above 50. So but this will not automatically change. I'll have to run this code again to ensure that the change has happened. And now this person's discount is at level of 10%. So similarly we can conditionally create data, conditionally delete data. I can segregate my data into different groups. For example, I had this data on group 2 and group 3 and I want separate data files for them. I don't want them in the same data. I can, if I want, I can create separate data for them. See, to look at a question that since we are working on on data 2 only we need, yeah, see, whenever SAS invokes a data, this data and set commands are mandatory. The new date, the new date is the old data, and incidentally they are same because we are modifying the same data, but otherwise they can be different. For example, if I do it this one, data 2 and data 1 here we did separately. So basically we were creating data 2 out of data 1. And when I say here data 2 and data 2 both are same, actually we are modifying the same data. Amit, I think this answers your question also, that why I'm writing this data 2 and set data 2 every time. Yes, it's required, because otherwise SAS doesn't understand from which data I'm trying to create this new data out of. So that is mandatory. So these two steps are mandatory whenever we work with any data steps. So now we have created these two data files, one for only group 2 and one for only group 3. And similarly, if I want these two data to have different formats, for example, this data I want only to have serial number and age, I can do that. So suppose I want this data to have this data to have something else. So these has only these two columns, while this has only these two columns. So I can play around with the data as much as I want. In SAS creation of these kind of things through functions, we can add on new columns, conditionally, unconditionally, extract information out of that based on some conditions and stuff like that, generate frequencies and things, and any statistical analysis which are there in the universe, we can do that, starting off from descriptive statistics and gradually moving over to correlation, regression, test of hypothesis, time series forecasting. Any of these things can be done. And actually industry has a role for every individual, every kind of individual. Just a minute. See, the one huge role is the basic data handling and reporting, because day-to-day operation there are lots of data slicing and dicing happens. I have not got your question actually. What was the question, Umar? Okay, yeah, see, this is a tool by which you will be getting the information out of, see, any software, it's not a thinker, right? The decision making, the strategy has to be done from the business side, but this will help us to see my data in different slices, different cuts, so that based on that I can strategize my business. For example, I'll give you one example. Say there's something called a cluster analysis. So now there is, SAS has a proc by which I can generate clusters out of my customers based on my key business parameters. Not only that, I will be able to identify the distinctive feature of each cluster, which we call as the profile of the cluster. And once we have the profile of the cluster, we can now develop a strategy based on the profile, which can be applicable to each of these clusters, which can be some kind of marketing strategy, be it some kind of promotion policy or some other kind of marketing or strategy. And also we can do a micromanagement. Since I identify the person falling in each cluster, we can actually tag that person. And with a active CRM program in place, where I have these customers' email IDs and mobile numbers, we can actually reach out to them directly, and we can communicate that specific strategy for which has been designed for that person based on the past data analysis to him directly. For example, say I can talk about people who are probably buying a particular category but not buying related categories. So that information I can easily get using the SAS, and once I have that, then the business can come in and develop some kind of combo offers of some where some apparent adjacency should be there, but I'm not seeing from my data So for example, something like say carbonated drinks and say chips, okay, chips or other namkeens, which go very well together. But in my some of my customers, I see that they are very regular buyers of the carbonated drinks, but not very regular buyers of the other junk foods. So if you want, we can give some kind of combo offers to them, which can help them, which can increase their bill value or their penetration into a category. So basically, see, when you have very large volume of data, where you can't possibly have um, any clue on how your customers are behaving. So this will help you to get your data out in a particular structure. Okay. Obviously, after that is the business call to take the decision, the strategy out of them, because that's where the business comes into play, to understand from the data what needs to be done. But this tool will obviously get us all the relevant cuts we want from the large volume of data, which is the transactional data which we have for retail or trade card or these kind of things. From there we can understand the trends very easily, the clusters very easily. Okay, so I think this answers your question, right? No, it's not just data. That's what I'm coming. That's what I'm coming to. So this is not just data filtration. This is a tool is there by which you can do. See, for example, your data filtration can be done to some extent using SQL also. So it's actually a combination of the entire analytic industry is being served by this software. The reason behind that is that it's can do all the activities for us, in a sense that it takes into account. It can not only give you data in different cuts, but also perform some high-end analytics modeling, like it can find out the propensity or the probability of a person to come for the next visit, and based on that you can find out people who will have a lower propensity to visit and think them as probably early warning signal for these people who can be the lapses for your store, or maybe defaulters in your loan. You can develop models to identify people who are who can have a higher probability of default, and hence you will be skeptical in giving them the loan, or if they're already in your system, you will try to do some kind of special monitoring on them so that they are paying on time. Similarly, I can work in the healthcare industry, and there can be analysis which can be done. Say a person who is suffering from a disease like cancer, what will be the probability that he will be living, or he will not die in the next 2 months, not in the next 3 months, those kind of things. So any statistical analysis you can think of can easily be done through this. Garima has a question that is like R, but see, R, I would say it has there are three things which I would like to talk about in this regard. Yeah, R is being used by some of the startups, but R still does not have a proven data handling capability as yet. Okay, so but SAS has a proven capability of handling very large volume of data very fast. So that's one thing, because if you, I don't know if you have used R with something like a 20 or 30 or 40 lakh data points, and have you seen the performance of that? What I've heard, and I've also used that, I've seen that is extremely poor. But SAS can probably do those things in like a blink of the eye. Okay, just forget about the simple kind of VLOOKUP kind of, say, a kind of merging kind of thing. So that's one thing. Second is in terms of even data changing, say because in real life the data comes with a lot of anomalies. Okay, there are a lot of hidden strings, there are a lot of hidden characters, this, that. The data is completely a mess. To actually make that data into a readable data, there also I've seen R has a limited capability in terms of the string functions, in terms of the date functions, where SAS actually does a great amount of job. And so there are different tools, like SPSS has its own market, probably in the market research industry where the data volume is not that large. SAS the major users are people who are working with big data, because for them huge volume of data, and that to analyzing them very fast, and not only analyzing, not only just getting some information out of the data, but also performing the high-end statistical modeling. So SAS is the one-stop solution for these companies, these businesses in a great way. So does it answer your question? Okay. See, as I was coming to that SAS, apart from these basic data handling things, I will just display one or two small statistical things. For example, we can do very easily um, find out the descriptive parameters for a lot of variables very easily. For example, if you want to find out the descriptive statistics for, I want to find out the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, the sum, or what may, the skewness, the kurtosis, the first quartiles, the third quartiles, the median of certain variable like say age and weight from this particular data. So if I do this, I get to see these parameters very easily out here. Now, if I want to see it for each group separately, I can do that. So I want to look at the group level values. So for group 2, I get these informations, and again for group 3, I get these informations. I can very easily transfer these outputs to Excel or other user-friendly files. Through a thing called ODS. Now ODS is short form for Output Delivery System. So this ODS facility will help me to transfer these files so we can transfer this output into Excel or something like ODS command, where I need to give him the exact path of where I want to save it and a new file name which where I want to transfer this output to. And if I do this, so I transfer this output to Excel. Similarly, it can be transferred to other kinds of files also, like Word or PDF if I want to. Um, yeah, Omar, Garima, see, though you can learn it from the net, from the general resources which are there available in the books and everything. But if you want, you can reach out to us. We have already trained over 1,000 people in the industry, and they're working successfully in different companies in the industry. So our team you can reach to us through email, and our team will communicate to you regarding the terms and conditions for the online, how we can be done online through. Okay. Yeah, Turik has a question: how to transfer the mean data into SAS file for further use? Yeah, we can do that. I'll just display that. So this is the data is transferred to a SAS data file for further use, like group 2 and 3, and the average age and average weight, so which is basically the output we were getting earlier, the average of age and weight for group 2 and group 3, that is getting transferred into a SAS data file. This is done through a proc called proc summary, which tells me to text the data into the output files. Rajdeep, NMIS, it gives me the number of missing observations. Okay, and this NWay is a more of an option of proc summary, which tells me that I don't want a missing. So when I'm creating the output, if I exclude this NWay missing option, what I get is one row which is taking the entire data into place, which I don't want. Okay, to exclude this option, this row from the output file in proc summary, we give this NWay missing option. Now, just to go back on that transfer of output to different files, as we are doing it in Excel, we can do it in a PDF also if you want to, and also in Word or other kinds of files. So now this is saved as a PDF output. Okay. So similarly, see, as I was coming to that, SAS can have a lot of utility across industries, and this is just a small prelude on what things can be done through SAS. And any other questions from the team? So if there are no more questions, then we can formally close this session. But if you have any queries on anything, please feel free to drop a mail to Ivy. We'll be very happy to answer to your queries.
Alright, guys. Thank you very much for attending today's session. Thank you, Sovik, for the great session, and participants, thank you for all the interesting questions that you have. Should you want to reach out to us for any further communication, or if you're interested in our online course program as well, or offline course program, feel free to drop an email at info@ivproschool.com. I'm going to write it here, info@ivproschool.com. Or you can also, if you're in India, you can always give us a call on our central helpline 9748 441111. Thank you guys. Yes, we do provide very solid placement support. In fact, if you go through our website, you will see some of the recent placement list as well, and the kind of companies where our students are working. As Sovik said before, we have trained more than 1,000 people. In fact, 1,200 plus people now. We have students working in more than 55 analytics companies. And yes, Omar, there will be more sessions like this. We intend to do at least one session every fortnight. The next session probably would be on using Excel for analytics, and then again we'll come back to SAS sessions as well, probably within a fortnight's time. But yes, we do intend to continue these kind of sessions, short session, industry focused short sessions in the future as well. Please like our Facebook page so that you automatically get automatically get updates about future sessions. And Amit, yes, we will have a session on VBA as well. As a very good pointer that you have brought in. We have an excellent team of people who are excellent expert in VBA, so we will have VBA sessions as well. So guys, like our Facebook page and keep up to date. Keep updated about these sessions, future sessions as well. I'll write our Facebook page here. Facebook.com/ivproschool. If you like it, you will automatically get to know about the future sessions. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone.